Heidi, I must say there was a sense of comfort watching the minister and that entire room getting together during the festive season only to work on the future of our economy.
So I think there was some sense of comfort and some sense of assurity, given the fact that it is a few days just before Christmas, and they've all gathered to discuss, boosting the economy and stimulating the economy further. However, I think what is really key to come out of this is the fact that there needs to be tangible and concrete solutions to boosting the economy. We know what the problems are. It has been made evidently clear. We have had numerous workshops, the job summits, to address these very important issues that contribute to our economy not growing. And today, I think, was a very important basis for the minister, for government and various government departments to discuss what is the actual problem. And we do know that the finance minister called on 2 professors from Harvard University to discuss this. We do know that one of the professors, it's the second time he has come to advise South Africa about what to do. And something very important that he mentioned was the fact that there is no secret recipe. The secret recipe is to address the country's needs, because every country and every economy has different needs to boost the economy and stimulate the economy. And this is what he had to say.
I've seen that growth over the last 5 years has not been spectacular. I must say that when we arrived in 2004, the economy started to accelerate. So we take full credit for that. I hope the same happens now, though. These are really hard issues. There is no formulas. As I like to say, in economic policy, there's no best practice, really. There's no such thing as a perfect suit. There's only a perfectly tailored suit. And tailoring is where the art is. There is no such thing as a perfect suit. And this is a very unique country, a very particular country with a very unique set of challenges. And I think understanding them and bringing them to play a role in the design of policy is particularly important and challenging.
Heidi, I know that the minister wouldn't be drawn on too much details because, this group is just coming together and they'll continue to meet in the coming months. But certainly, I think just from the pick of people he had and when he was speaking about their strengths and where they've done work before, I can't help but shake the feeling that the issue of land expropriation without compensation and the direction that government needs to go in will also form a big part of these conversations, especially, when we look at the example of Venezuela, which has been consistently listed as what not to do.
Kathy, it's very important to highlight the fact that it wasn't just professors and academics and, economists at this meeting. It was also business partners and business leaders. And you must remember a while back, something that business was very adamant on was the fact that there needs to be policy certainty in order for investors to want to put their money into South Africa. And one of the big problems, or rather one of the big challenges, is the fact that there is no policy certainty when it comes to land expropriation without compensation. There is no certainty when it comes to that. There has been a lot of back and forth with political parties saying this is what we're going to do, ANC saying this is what we're going to do, then governments agreeing to it, not agreeing to it. So that needs to be a very big topic of discussion in this colloquium, because it is something that, that needs to be discussed, given the fact that it is a very high topic at the moment in South Africa, and policy certainty around that needs to be, determined on whether that is going to happen or not, because that is a big key player in economic growth.
And so it certainly is interesting that you even have, some of the country's biggest farming companies. I think it says it too, that's also forming part of this colloquium. Yes. What is the way forward in terms of revenue collection? The minister also had highlighted that as one of the key challenges that South Africa's facing?
I think that's the most that we actually got out of him, given the fact that they weren't very descriptive as to the way forward and what they're planning to discuss. But one of the key things that Minister Mboweni did discuss was the fact that the biggest challenge at the moment is revenue collection. We do know that in the beginning of this year, during budgets, the finance minister at the time said that there was going to be a VAT increase to try and boost revenue collection and try and boost government's budgets, because there is just not enough money. We know that SARS has been struggling with their revenue collection, and if SARS doesn't give government money, then that is a massive problem as well. So revenue collection needs to be addressed, given the fact that we even heard Mboweni speaking about how if revenue collection is not collected and is not increased, then that will obviously impact on the country's resources and deploying certain key resources to various departments and very important state-owned entities, because there is just not enough money. So I think there's a lot on the table for this colloquium. There's a lot that they need to discuss, but it's very important that they stimulate economic growth, because our country is growing between 0.5% and 0.8%, and that is just really not enough to put a significant dent in our unemployment, to decrease poverty and inequality in this country. That is just what they're really struggling to deal with at the moment.
All right, Heidi, let's leave it there for tonight. Heidi Jokos was at that briefing, or at least the opening of that colloquium this morning.